All right, let's check if I'm live in my business group. Yep, I am. All right, guys, I'm gonna give this a second, let people hop on. These phone booths are actually like pretty uncomfortable. Not gonna lie. If you're on, say hi, hashtag live, hashtag replay. The whole point of the hashtag live replay, guys, just so you guys don't get annoyed by it, is that the more you comment, the more like people will be able to see it, so that we can make sure that Facebook pushes it out to the rest of the group, and people are getting the valuable information. Hey Ken, were you on my last live? I don't know. I don't think I saw you there, or maybe I did in the beginning. I don't know. So this is just a live Q&A. Let me know any questions you have, um, and I'd be happy to answer them. I just did one in my personal profile. Um, and then I figured I'd do it in this group as well, just because I'm giving a little special surprise at the end, even though you're already in my, you're already one of my students. No, not able to go. Oh, got it. I'm gonna give this a little bit more for people to hop on. If you hop on, let me know that you've hopped on. You guys can keep asking me questions here. Looks like all of my students are jumping on this live. You guys are funny. So ask me your questions here if you want. It's easier to get me now because other than that, I'm over at the hospital with visiting hours. Visiting hours don't start till 2:30 here, which I've never seen before in my life for babies, or maybe I just don't know babies enough. But yeah, so I'll go see my niece in about an hour and a half. Hi, Klein. I'm killing that. I know I am. Colleen? I don't know. Correct me. Uh, Correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, guys, this is a live Q&A. Hey, Leander, what's going on over in Naples? Um, so this is live Q&A. Ask me whatever you guys want. I know you guys have been blowing up the student group or this, and I just haven't been able to get to all the questions yet. I will, I promise. Once I can sit down, I think this is the first day I've been able to like really sit down and get to work. So yeah, you guys can ask me whatever you want. Tell me about what you're working on right now, what's working, what's not working. What do you want to improve? Leander, you guys are having a party without me? That's no fun. You guys have a party like every day. You guys don't know, but I have to come back to Miami to recover from I have to come back to Miami from the partying that goes on over there in Naples. Nobody would ever think. The party has come to me. I don't know what that means. Chuck says, can there be an offer or incentive for students that do well in the course? Well, I mentioned course to become a white label partner with you. So I didn't mention an incentive. Eventually, once you guys are like really through the course and you get used to, okay, so I don't know if I should mention it yet because Tasha and I have already been discussing. But I can mention it, I guess. It's not a big deal. It's not going to happen right away because there's a lot of like to do things on the list. But eventually, yeah. So this is why it's really important you get used to like doing the modules and all the ads and everything right now, because eventually we are going to create what's kind of like a database or a bank for where, because remember, I'm doing outreach to business owners as well. And they're going to be able to pretty much post jobs or needs in there, and they can hire my students for that. So it's going to be kind of like a Cat Hal type white label partner type database. So we're working on creating that. So eventually, yes, Chuck, that will happen. As far as incentive, you guys are going to get one really soon. We talked about that in the live coaching call. I've just been out of commission for like 4 days because my niece was born, and she's healthy and great. We had a little bit of complications, but she's, doing well and numbers are going up. So that's a good thing. But yeah, I'm back on board. So just let me get like back into the swing of things because I got to catch up with my agency and my course. So it's Celine, like Celine Dion. Oh, okay, cool. Working on a new spa client. Hopefully all goes well. It's a new business that's not open yet. Oh my God, Ken, go watch the MEC presentation module. The MAC presentation module is exactly that. It's how I got $55,000 and over 100 members for a spa, but a business before they even opened their doors. So go watch that video and follow along with the slides. That's going to be really helpful for you. Don't miss that. I don't think people realize, like, so I don't talk about some of the modules enough, I think. Like the grow reviews, nobody, like, I guess I don't explain it well enough, or I haven't talked about it enough, but that's a really amazing, great module. The MEC presentation, everybody runs to the spa masterclass, but in all honesty, like, I think the MEC presentation has like bank, like the results and what that what I show you in that presentation did for my client is like amazing. So definitely go, okay, cool, you watched it. So yeah, just apply those methods. You can literally start advertising for them before they open their doors. Celine, I have a friend who owns a spa, trying to figure out the best way to approach her about doing her Facebook. So you can sit there and say, I don't think you're one of my students, but because I do have a case study in the spa masterclass, so you could literally just take and say, hey, look, these are results from real spas that make real money. That's always a good way to do it, but since you don't have the case study, just the best way is what I tell everybody is know your product, be confident. Maybe work with them on a small budget, let them know, hey, can you set aside like $200 or $300 or $500, and we can just try this out so I can show you that I can get you some leads. I don't know your level of experience when it comes to Facebook, Celine, so I don't know like what it is you think you're able to provide yet. Are you just starting off? Have you been doing this for a while? So that all depends as well, like how you approach your friend about doing Facebook. Like, do you have an agency? Do you have other clients? So it's all about how you approach it. But it depends as well on your situation. So yeah, Kat does that too. So exactly. So we're gonna create a very similar like database job posting board type thing. It's more of like I'm gonna have all your guys' profiles in there with what you're willing to offer, and then they can email over a quote asking for certain services. That's pretty much how it's gonna work. But we're getting there, I promise. So that's why if you're my student, you're really gonna benefit from it when it comes out. The other thing that I'm really excited about is those email template sequences that are coming. Because I know for me, I'm not going to name names, but the email sequences that I've been seeing, it's just very much the same redundant copy and paste. And I already had an email template sequence that I kind of, if you call it like funnel hacking or email hacking, one person, and I did it for the emails, and then when I purchased that person's template emails for the different industry, it was exactly the same. It was the exact same email, just like a couple of the words changed, and I didn't like that. So we're creating a module that's all email database drip sequences for all the different industries that I think I have like 6 right now on the list. Celine, yes, I've been doing this for a few months, worked with mostly contractors, getting some good results, trying to find my niche. So if you've only been doing it for a couple months, I'm all about not niching. Like, continue to put feelers out there, see who you're able to get best results for. But honestly, niching, like, I'm not all for until like your agency is well established. So if you have enough clients in that one industry that you're successfully, consistently bringing results to, and these clients aren't staying with you for 6 weeks at a time, they're staying with you for months and months and months, even years, then you can start niching. But until then, like, people who say they're going to niche off right off the bat, I'm not all for it. Like, the whole point is you need to make money right now and you need to provide results. So the way you're going to do that is by, seeing what works for you and trying all these different, clients or companies and so on. Brandon, what do you charge photographers? What type of photographers have good ROIs? So with photographers, what I found is they don't have like the massive budgets to do $1,000 or $2,000 contracts. So I charge them that consulting fee of $250. So that pretty much that mind hacking interview you saw, like that's what they get for $250. Actually, I think she paid, crap, it was more. I think it's like closer to $500. Yeah, closer to $500 she got for that mind hacking interview you see in the modules. Hey Excel, how's it going? Let me know how it's going for you. I haven't heard from you in a little bit. I mean, I've been off the map because my niece was born, but I want to know how it's going for you. But yeah, what type of photographers have good ROIs? Photographer is a hard industry. They're very much like solo entrepreneurs, unless you're doing some big photography studio. But even when I do like my big events, like my $6 million events, we're still using photographers that are like solo entrepreneur photographers. So videographers make good chunks of money, like the big ones. So maybe videographer is a better industry to go than videographers is what I would think. But either way, photographers and videographers, they all have to have a social presence to be successful. So they need to be great at their craft and their art of taking the video or photography, but they're terrible at their online services. And that's when you start with the consulting. And eventually, once you do that similar mind hacking type interview with them, they're going to just sit there, hey, what's it going to cost me to get a website from you? What's it going to cost me to get this from you? So that's what happens. Architectural photographers, yeah, they do make good, but those are rare. Like that's very, very niche-y, super small industry. Chuck, I think you mentioned something about adding more bots training, live training. Yeah, so I can announce it here. I don't want to say it too much on my personal page. So I'm bringing on 2 interviews. One is actually going to be tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Should I start? Yeah, so tomorrow, let's see, tomorrow around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to announce it. I'm bringing on, let me pull it up. Hold on. I am bringing on Jay. Hold on, let me find the information. Here you go. I don't know if you guys have heard of him or seen his group or listened to him talk or anything before, but Jay Aquino, I might be murdering that. Don't like kill me. I'm going on his group, but he's going to come on mine as well because I want him to add value to you guys. And so he's going to show you how he got 3,322 leads in 7 days with $139 ad spend. So that's really cool. When I heard that, I don't know about you, but I wanted to hear about it. So yeah, I'm gonna bring him on. It should be around, I think like 6 p.m. tomorrow. I'm gonna do his group first, and then he'll come into your group. So that's really awesome, like amazing. 3,000. What was it? 3,222 something? 3,000. Hold on. I'm totally murdering this. So 3,322 leads in 7 days and only spent $139. Obviously, we're going to hear what the niche was, what the offer was, and then you can kind of get an idea from that. And then you kind of take how you can apply it to other stuff. I know a lot of you guys have been talking about restaurants. So Jay crushes it in the restaurant industry. So he's going to talk a little bit about that as well. The other person I'm bringing on, but we're going to do the live bot build is what I talked about, is Ross Williams. I don't know if he's jumped on this live, but he is actually also, he's in events and restaurants. It's a little bit different. He does a lot of bar crawls, New Year's Eve parties. He does massive bar crawls, which has like 0 to no overhead, and he makes, over 10K an event or a bar crawl. And he does it in these partnerships that he makes with these restaurants. And these restaurants end up contracting him over and over for Facebook ads later on. So he's gotten that niche. So right now he has a pizza company that he's working with that when I was in Orlando, we actually went over the ads he was running for the pizza company. And he was telling me last night about how he got these leads, but the leads are not bringing in the offer. So we talked about possibly making a bot that is kind of similar to, if you think about Groupon, right? Hey, Lewis, tell me how my babies are. You didn't tell me in my last live. I want to know. Send me pictures. You guys haven't sent me pictures in a while. Just so you guys know, Andrew and Lewis are taking care of my cats while I'm here in Australia. So I miss them like crazy. I want more pictures. But anyway, so we're going to build a bot live. Ari and Sheila are tuned into it. Yeah, I'm sure. So we're going to build a bot. but I'm gonna do a buy bot, or like we're gonna put in the buy button in the bot. So I don't want to go too deep into it because it's also gonna be on the fly. Like I get most creative when I'm like hands-on doing it right then and there. So I may have the creative vision right now of the bot that I want to make and that I'm gonna make. And but I'm sure I'm gonna just make it 10 times bigger when I actually do it. That's what ends up happening with most of my bots. That's why the real estate bot that I have like ended up being 10 times bigger than it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be like a tiny bot. But it pretty much essentially vets out all the leads for the realtor before the realtor even gets on the phone call with the lead. So what that does is that allows the realtor to not waste their time and complain to you. I almost used the word bitch, but complain to you about how they're calling all these leads and they're not, they're not valid leads. Well, guess what? This bot like kind of weeds that out before they get there. I'm interested in how to promote events and large parties. Great. So when Ross comes on, you can definitely talk to him about it because he does it all the time and he does a great job at it. So he's definitely the party guy. And you can ask me, Chuck, about promoting events and large parties. Remember, my career started in events and marketing. I've done events as small as like a $350 event to $6 million event. I've done every type of event I don't do I've done weddings, but I don't do weddings. So I hate weddings. I do more corporate events. So I've done State of the City addresses, Memorial Day breakfasts, Martin Luther King Day concert festivals in the park, $6 million 3-day music festivals at Sun Life Stadium with big names like John Legend, Mary J. Blige. So if you have a question about events, trust me, I'm like your best. I'm a really great person to pick their mind about events. I just don't focus on events. If people contract me out for events, they got to pay me a lot right now because for me to go back into events, it's very labor intensive, like physically on me, which I love it. It gives me this like rush and this high, but I can't do it consistently like I used to do it before. So any events I do now, I get contracted out actually by my old jobs that I had like 10 years ago. The government's job still contracts me out. AEG Live, which if anybody knows who AEG is, they're the big, music company that, they run all these, they produce all these, concerts for all these artists. Taylor Swift, Michael Jackson when he was around and all that. So they still contract me out. So yeah, if you have event questions, feel free to let me know. And actually I talked about Ross also is going to be creating, I don't know if I'm allowed to announce it. Ooh, whatever. He's creating like an event, I won't say what the type of event, for entrepreneurs and bringing in a lot of really amazing speakers. And we talked about working on sponsorships for him as well. And like for the events, I'm all about sponsor decks and getting sponsors on to essentially pay for the event. So yeah, if you have event questions, feel free to ask me that too. Lewis, we'll take selfies with them tomorrow. Thank you. I want photos of my babies. I miss them. Brandon, would that real estate bot flow work for insurance with some tweaking? I'm sure it could. I'm sure it could, Brandon. You would just have to change the questions. And the one thing I say about bots is make sure you're tagging along the way. Because if you're tagging people correctly, then you can like send them different messaging afterwards. If you don't know how to tag in a bot, we're going to cover that when we build the pizza bot for the restaurant. Just like that restaurant pizza bot we're going to build, I'm sure you can change out pizza for another deal or change it out for something else. It's just the idea of he has a problem right now where he's getting the leads coming in, but they're not taking the offer. So he's getting a lot of leads, and the other problem is the pizza place is not answering the phone. And when we were in Orlando, we actually tested it. He called 3 times from his cell phone and it went straight to like busy beeping. Like who doesn't have call waiting nowadays? But it was just beep, beep, beep. And then another time it went to voicemail. So these leads might be calling to get the offer, but they're not picking up the phone. So how do you avoid that? Is what I want to try to solve with the bot. Hey, Kike, what's going on in the hood in Miami? But that's about it. Do you guys have any other questions? So what else? Oh, I'm doing my end of month review for my new client that I signed on last month. I'm actually going into their systems, which is what I mentioned in the last live, is really good, is that if you have the ability to go in their systems and get actual numbers of results, it's even better, because what happens is, for example, I brought them 80 leads last month, easy, within their budget. Those 80 leads, if I look at what they have written down, according to them, only like 20 people have booked. It's not true. Because I have, if you watch the automation, there's so much follow-up afterwards. People are calling the regular line or they're calling after the fact to make these bookings. And the person who is writing the notes on the lead is the one who does the outreach. So they don't get the inbound calls. They're only doing outbound calls. So they don't know that that person booked. So I'm going in manually and I've already just done the first 10 people and found 3 bookings that weren't recorded. That's $150. That was not recorded. Actually, it was $160 because the people upgraded. So especially when I'm bringing on a new client, if you have the ability to get in their systems, whether they just make you a manager or an analyst, it's just going to allow you to prove that your system is working, because we all get the same consistent things where the client's like, oh, they're not converting. Oh, we're getting leads, but nobody's picking up the phone. It's going to voicemail. So this is how you take that extra step to cover yourself and prove that it is working. And this is how your clients stay with you for months and months and months, or years and years, ideally. I mean, mine are years. This one is new, so this is the first month. I don't know. No complaints yet from them. So I actually posted the last client call I did with them last week in the student group. You guys can check that out. Hey Ryan, so this is live Q&A. You guys can ask me anything you want about marketing, clients, promotions. I just talked about the end of month reporting that I'm doing. I'll share with you guys those results. This is from a location I've never touched before, I've never done before. And yeah, I already got them 80 leads in the first month, so that's pretty badass if you ask me. I don't know what this stuff. So yeah, any other questions? Because I'm hungry. It's it's 1:30 in the afternoon. I gotta go see my niece in an hour, so I might go grab some lunch first. So any other questions, guys, let me know now. Like I said with Chuck, you can ask me about events, not only marketing. I have a huge event background, like massive event background. I probably have like 4 or 5 portfolios full of event crap. I just didn't think that people really wanted to touch on that. But there's huge marketing opportunities in events, by the way. So for example, the company that we hire to manage the marketing for that $6 million event, they get a minimum of $250,000 just for that event. So there's definitely opportunity. Or for example, when I would hire out people to either run the event or do some marketing for the event, those contracts were usually like $1,000 to $5,000. So it's all about what clients are you going for, what type of events are you looking for. So I mean, I'm more than happy to talk about events if that's what you guys want to do as well. I just never really thought. And I'm going to post a special surprise. Most of you guys on this live right now are my students. This is for people that are not my students. If what I'm doing is the first 10 people to buy the works, the next 10 people to buy the works get a free one-on-one hour consultation with me. We can either do it with you, do it, build your ads, do whatever. I'll put the information in the link. Okay, let's do it. Do you use event ad objectives or do you use traffic? I use traffic. Traffic to landing page. It also depends what your landing page is. Are you using like an Eventbrite? Are you creating your own landing page? Are you selling tickets online? So there's a lot of variables, but I don't use event ad objectives. I use traffic. Yeah. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna hop off. I'm super hungry. So if you have any other questions, put them below. One of the first people that reached out to me wanted to sell tickets for an all-day event. Yeah, events are a little bit different. It's kind of like I was telling Brandon about his event's not an event. It's like a seminar, so it's a little different. But events are harder in the sense that you're getting somebody to commit to a date, time, and place. So it's very different than just a lead. So you want to make sure that you're getting the right people who are going to attend the event. So that's why I say it's whether you're getting a lead or you're selling tickets actually online for the event, that makes it very different. Hey Stephanie, how's New York? I have a niece now. I don't know if RJ sent you pictures, asking for pictures. Jessica had her baby, pero bueno. All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off. I'm starved. Let me know your questions below and I will get back to them, I promise. All right, bye.